It takes more than that. All right. So if you have the financial means, you have the emotional aptitude, you have leadership skills, or you're willing to grow with those, absolutely. I mean, we encourage polygyny. Polygyny is simply an ancient solution to a modern day problem. So, practicing polygyny is no different. Practicing marriage, period, is needed. The initial wife hates me and wants me, and he wants to marry me this year. I don't know how this will work, and she hasn't made peace with it. How could I make our relationship work between me and her?
You can't make your relationship work between you and her, because it takes two. You can reach out and you can be patient and give space. That's the long and short of what you can do. But when it comes to making something work between two people, it does take two. It's not just a one-sided situation. So letting it be known, that you're open to a relationship, being patient, and giving space. That's the long and the short as far as that relationship. However, when you're getting married to the husband. Your marriage is the marriage that you should actually focus on, and we talk about that as far as minding your marriage.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're adults. So minding your marriage, you're not marrying her, nor are you marrying into the family per se. You are marrying a man that's a husband. All right. And he will likely be your husband. But everybody's gonna need time to grow, to adjust, to transition. And if they're willing to work on their marriages, then you could likely be successful at it. It's not gonna be something, listen, you can look at us right now and say, okay, cool. They're doing this or they're doing that, and that looks great and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? There are challenges that you didn't see. So when we talk about don't compare your chapter one, you're not even in chapter one yet. You're still in the preface. Preface. Yeah. You're still in the forward. All right, not even in chapter one yet. So we don't compare our chapter one to our chapter 11, our chapter 4 to chapter 7. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that these are years. So things do take time. So expecting it to be right off the bat, that's setting yourself up for failure right away. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it is going to need that time. So don't compare your chapter 1 to our chapter 11, and just know it takes growth, it takes intentionality, and it takes time. And what's likely happening is that she's going to wait for him to see how he demonstrates things and to see if it's going to be fair and all the other type of things that you have to go through and grow through in order to really get there and to have that trust and to build up. So preferably that helps. I say, would it be advisable to marry more than one woman at the same time if you have the means? I would say yes and no. Yes and no. Because having the means is one thing. All right, means, I'm assuming you're talking about financial means. It takes more than that. All right, so if you have the financial means, you have the emotional aptitude, you have leadership skills, or you're willing to grow with those, absolutely. I mean, we encourage polygyny. Polygyny is simply an ancient solution to a modern day problem. So, practicing polygyny is no different. Practicing marriage, period, is needed. I mean, for those of you who might have seen or took place any type of Juneteenth celebrations or anything like that yesterday, then we can see I think Malcolm said it best. He said you can really see the what is it, not the status or the quality, but you can see the rank, or you can see the level that people are at based upon their women. All right, how are they treating their women? How their women act and behave and everything else. So when we look in our communities, we see that they're a mess. All right, they really are a mess. And one of the main reasons they are a mess is because our leadership is not leading. It is not leading effectively, efficiently, in a masculine way that starts with our families, whether monogamy or polygyny. So someone having the means, if you are, here, I'll give you an example. You have Floyd Mayweather. He's a boxer, right? He just fought the white dude, Logan, whatever his name is, right? So Logan Paul just the man has hundreds of millions of dollars, all that, right? So with someone like this, from what we don't know him personally, but I'm just giving an example based on media stuff, which isn't the best, but I'm giving an example. So let's say it's true. And what was at least substantiated through stuff was his TV case where he beat up on one of his exes. So he has the financial means. But does having the financial means mean it's okay to be in a polygynous relationship if you don't have the other areas, all right, where you are working on and dealing with the emotional challenges that you get? Or also keep in mind that when it comes to money, it just exposes more of what you are. So how many people abuse people financially, or abuse people, I have money, you don't, therefore do what I say do, or it's going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Whether a marriage or an employee-employer relationship. So again, very, very important to understand the difference. What is our Clubhouse ID? I am at Coach Nazir, Nazir. She is at Coach Nyla, Nyla, and Coach Fatimah at Coach Fatimah, Fatimah. That's for IG. Okay. So yeah, yep. So yep, that's our Clubhouse IDs. You can follow us to join the room. We have a room open. It's really just us right now because we brand new to it anyway. But Polygyny Q&A with Coach Nadir and Nyla is the title, and of course Coach Fatimah is there as well to answer any questions by audio and so on. So will this be recorded? If it's on Facebook, you'll be able to go ahead and visit the stream later, as well as YouTube and IG. Clubhouse, not so much. I want a second wife, but every woman knows I'm married. Refuse to be my second wife. I become tired and don't know what to do. Okay, well, one of the things I suggest that men do, I just mentioned it a few seconds ago. One is to become more attractive. All right. Now, I'm not just talking about aesthetically. Yes, you'll be working on yourself and everything else, right? But that's not what I'm talking about. Attraction is not the number one thing on the list for women in general. Okay. And I say the saying, I don't know where I heard it from, but men are seduced by the eyes, women are seduced by their ears. When I'm talking about becoming more attractive, that means becoming a better leader, someone who's more assertive, someone who's masculine, someone who is emotionally intelligent, also increasing your financial IQ. So there are these different things that make you more attractive as a man. Now, understand the word attractive means you attract. Okay? So the difference is if you are pursuing and searching and trying to find a second wife, then you're taking time away from increasing yourself to become better, to attract the woman who is interested in you. All right. Whether that attraction may come from her father, from her uncle, or her grandmother, or auntie, or mama. All right. There are people that see you. And if you are assertive and you're a leader and you're doing good and so on, and you are in the visibility or on the radar, if you will, of those who are looking for someone to marry their daughter who's open to polygyny, then you have to get better. And if you get better, then you'll attract versus going out and searching. Okay, I hope that helps right there, because a lot of brothers think they can go and try to convince somebody. And listen, bro, there are 7 billion plus people on the planet, supposedly. I don't know, I didn't count them, just this fact. These are numbers that were said to us, right? But there are billions, okay? Billions. Now, as a Muslim practice Islamic polygyny, I can marry up to four simultaneously. What percentage of 3 billion something is that? Or I'm in the United States, right? Where there are more women than men. So out of these 300 million total people, over 100 million women, well, kids and all that kind of stuff, but you know what I'm saying, right? So 4. It doesn't take, you have to go to these sisters and they say, oh yeah, no, it doesn't. That could be a challenge sometimes. But again, if you work on yourself being more attractive, you put it out there and you're open and you're honest, then you would likely attract it. So if no woman wants you, it may not be that they don't want you. They probably just don't like the characteristics you're coming with. And
that's interesting that you said that. You said you'll be attracted to somebody, whether it's the father or the, just family members or anything like that, which is really funny, because even if she's not even thinking about polygyny or that's not even something that, because she may have heard something crazy about it or anything. If it's somebody in her family that finds you attractive enough to marry their daughter or whoever in their family, they have some influence. So that can also be a thing as well. So yeah, definitely make yourself more attractive, because, you don't have to convince anybody, to marry you or to even be a second wife. it goes into, if you are that person they want to marry, then they'll marry you, and then they'll deal with the other stuff, and working on themselves and working on their marriage. So
Indeed. All right. So our sister Tanisha says, you just mentioned trust. When trust is an issue, just action on the husband's part, you recommend counseling when a wife doesn't want to be in a monogamous relationship, let alone polygynous. I recommend evaluating the circumstances of what it is. All right, because trust, we have to know what our core values are. All right, and trust is so easy and quickly to lose and takes a long time to build. So I don't just recommend just counseling, period. All right, just in general, oh, you should get counseling or something like that. Listen, but I do believe in self-development and growth. All right, so whether that's through counseling, whether that's through coaching, whether that's through reading different books or listening to different books or going to seminars and everything else, it's making the choice and decision to work on yourself. All right, so some things are just deal breakers, period. All right, so I remember we were being interviewed, and the people interviewing us had asked the question, said, what if somebody cheated? All right, okay, well, what if somebody cheated? Now, some people can go and get over that and overcome it and go to therapy and counseling and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, you have, what's that? The People's Dead Ass Podcast?
the Ellis's.
Yeah, the Ellis's, DeVal and Kadeem, right? He cheated on her, she cheated on him. They got through it. It is what it is, right? At least that's the way it looks, right? So, that's their situation. They got through it. So when we were asked the question, though, that's a deal breaker. It's kind of over at that point. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to work for us because we hold morals on a different level, because it's not just, somebody cheating on me or me cheating on someone else, any type of situation like that, or off the bid, because now that's a whole agreement that you have with your creator that you broke. And if you break the most important thing that we value, that relationship, then it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? I find that extremely hard to come back from, to continue a relationship where that's not going to be the back of mind, or that's just going to be something, that's going to be very, very difficult. So it depends on what the deal breakers are. However, when you're working on yourself and your trust, and there are ways to build it back, absolutely, and counseling can help with that, no question. But again, it depends on what the deal breakers are and what the situation is. Somebody came in and raped or did something like that, am I even going to consider trying to rebuild a relationship with that? Can they, be healed or get better or something like that? Maybe, most likely. You know what I'm saying? But whether or not it's worth my time and my energy to deal with that is an entirely different discussion.
Right. That's a self-evaluation that you talk about, finding out if it's worth it. And if you want it, because that's another thing too. Some people do it because they're like, oh, I'll do it for the kids, or I'll do it because what would the people say, or I didn't get married to get divorced. So even though I'm not happy, at least I can say I was married now, type of thing. So you want to, make sure that it's for you and for the benefit of, the benefit of the whole, the bigger picture. Because if you're not happy, and you're not happy, or the trust is an issue and it's still there, it's going to affect and infect every area of that relationship eventually, even if it's not immediate.
Agreed. All right. Now we got to make some moves. A lot of different questions coming in. So this is just a question, comment by Fly, who's true, which is true. I'll read it.
Says, I'm saying if a woman wants to share a man, she's looking for a leader or an exceptional man, like a man with money, is righteous, and is righteous. Something I've noticed is some men aren't able to be a leader. Agreed. Some men aren't.
It's probably more than some. You hardly ever walk into some location, or whether it's a business or a match or anything else, and people are like, "Oh, there are too many leaders around here."
Leaders up in here.
No, few and far between, sadly, but that's true. My sister says, all right, you hit the nail on the head. Brothers have to become more. Do you have talks or courses for this alone? Yes. I actually we have a number of different courses. Okay. So this is not a big, sales pitch or anything like that. But to answer your question, we were just speaking with a person who was asking, what would be better for them, because they said, they didn't feel that they could afford the relationship mastery in a circle course. Because we just finished that. Actually, Coach Nyla just finished up her training for today, and we're just going, doing a short live afterwards and working on some other content for the day. So there's a course that we have. We love it. It's one of our best courses. We really put a lot of work, effort, thought, worksheets, all this stuff into this, right? It's called the 5-Day Successful Marriage Challenge. The 5-Day Successful Marriage Challenge. So I know my wives, they did theirs, and it was like over 60 pages in the workbook there. Mine was, I think, over 20-something pages. But it was over 5 hours of content. So one is called a King's Edition, one is called a Queen's Edition. I mean, individually, it's $97 each, or you can get the bundle where it's $177. If you want details on that, you can go to outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/SMC for Successful Marriage Challenge. All right, and then you'll see the information on the Queens. And then if you want the information on the Kings, the one that I did, it's outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/KSMC. Okay. And yeah, I can't. I'm not. Yeah, I could probably I could type it and put it in there. But we do have some different courses. There are a couple questions too on IG, but there are several different ones here. Okay. So let's go.
Yes, women have in general become more masculine and men more feminine. Yes, I totally agree. Where we're starting to see more women actually put out content and some information about embracing your femininity and, and just kind of recognizing what masculine energy looks like in a woman and trying to decrease that, so to speak.
All right, really quick. Marcus, we jump to yours first. Men cannot marry women who are 2 biological sisters. No, you can marry one, and if that marriage dissolves or what have you, then marry her sister. But no, you cannot be married simultaneously to 2 sisters. You're married 2 cousins? Yes. That's the easy, the short answer right there. And in a polygamous marriage, is the man the breadwinner? Yes, the man is considered the one who stands up, the one who protects and maintains. Yes, that dynamic does not change. I know that there's a lot of stuff online when it comes to, we practice polygamy because, we get married and then she get her income and I get my income, like Joe income. Now we make it over 100,000 and now we doing this and that. Yeah. That's not, no, that's not. Polygyny is family based and family building. Matter of fact, polygyny is the only form of poly that is based upon family structure and building. So there is polygamy, which is a general term, which means having more than one spouse. Polygyny, which is what we practice, means a husband that has multiple wives. Then there's polyandry. Polyandry means a wife who has multiple husbands. All right, clearly in polygyny, you know one who the father is. You know who the leader is of the family. And pretty much fall under that banner. So that's family. That's where we have myself and my 2 wives, and we have 12 children. Okay, 10 of them biologically mine. They all know who father is, and the other 2, of course, they know who father is as well. So with that being said, that's polygyny. Polyandry, that is not for really building a family. That was used in certain instances, but it's hard to find any societies, one, that even practices it today, or that were ever successful in expanding. However, there are polygynous societies in places around the world still today that practice polygyny, where it's legalized in many different countries, and the benefits still being reaped. So, yep. That was a long answer to the man. All right, something should be reserved. To clarify, is polygyny something that should be reserved for high-value men, in essence, high earners, and the top 10% or more? This is assuming other factors have been met, such as being more attractive. Reserved? Is polygyny something that should be reserved for high-value men, meaning that only they practice it? We cannot put any restrictions on it, on something that Islam did not put on it. So since we're Muslims, we follow Islamic polygyny. There are no extra things we put on it. All right, the man is required to be fair and be equitable when it comes to the measurables. The measurables are time and money. All right, time and money. So those things, and again, there are even concessions there when things can be worked out amongst the wives. Let's say the wife is rich, doesn't determine or need necessarily money, but it's more about compatibility and things like that. Then she can forego some things, but that's still her right. All right, so those are the measurables. Then there are immeasurables. Then there are the immeasurables, like things with, again, the emotional aptitude and the 3 Ps is what I really teach on. That's protecting, providing, and exerting personal power. So when it comes to providing, it's more than just providing financially. It's providing emotional support, the raising of the children, providing the mental and the spiritual and these different types of things so that you have fitness in each of these areas of your life. So, hopefully that helps. So there's nothing, we can't put any other restrictions on something that the one who created this, the most wise, hasn't. All right, and there are people who were poor that practiced it, and the Prophet ﷺ said for the rich man to provide for his family like a rich man. And for the poor man to provide for his family like a poor man. So it didn't stop anything in particular. However, it's important that we understand that we are responsible for the maintenance and everything of our families as men. Here are 3 ways outstanding personal relationships can help you.
One is by following us on our social medias. Follow us on IG at Outstanding Relationships and on Facebook and YouTube at Outstanding Personal Relationships. And make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Number 2, make sure you head over to outstandingpersonalrelationships.com and subscribe to the email list. From there, you will get downloads as well as updates, any and all updates. And you also get an update on the release of our new book, Let's Talk Polygyny, Uncensored.
Number 3, if you are serious about polygyny relationships and really developing fulfillment and happiness, make sure you register for our Relationship Mastery Inner Circle, which is members only, which includes downloads, it includes access to us live on a weekly basis. So that's at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/RM. We'll see you soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.